Have you heard someone say that Freemasonry is involved with hidden forces, perhaps even with the devil? This idea may seem absurd at first glance, but it is not difficult to understand why many fall into these theories. Freemasonry, a secret society that dates back to centuries, is surrounded by mysteries. Their rituals, their symbols, and even their history have been the subject of speculation. For many, Freemasonry represents something incomprehensible, something that cannot be fully understood without being started. So what is Freemasonry really? Where did she come from, and why so many conspiracy stories surround it? Let's unravel these issues. Throughout this video, we will explore the true essence of Freemasonry, and you will see that what it really is can be much more fascinating than the rumors that circulate around. Get ready for a journey in which mystery and reality meet, where we will reveal the truth behind the largest secret society in the world. The history of Freemasonry dates back to ancient times, long before conspiracy theories gained shape. The origin of the Masonic stores is in the Masons of the Middle Ages, which were responsible for the construction of the great Gothic cathedrals of Europe. These Masons were masters in their art and over time began to organize in fraternities, conveying knowledge about the construction and the esoteric arts secretly. But how did this practice evolve into an organization with so much symbolism and mystery? Over the centuries, bricklayer guilds began to become speculative organizations, dedicated to moral improvement, fraternity, and human development. However, the transition from Freemasonry from an operative office to a more philosophical organization also brought involvement with the unknown, the hidden, and the mysterious. When the Freemasons began to gather without the presence of workers, but with a focus on self-knowledge, legends began to form, and with them, the first accusations. But is the true purpose of Freemasonry really linked to evil? Let's continue to find out. Freemasonry is, in essence, a fraternity focused on high principles of morality, ethics, and fraternity. Its members, known as Freemasons, seek to constantly improve as human beings, promoting values such as freedom, equality, and charity. But the question persists: if Freemasonry preaches good, why is then so wrapped in mysteries? The answer lies in the fact that many of the Masonic rituals, although apparently enigmatic, aim to personal improvement and the strengthening of character. Freemasonry is not a religion, but a space where people gather to study philosophy, ethics, and especially to become better. Freemasons are not controlled by evil force, but by principles of self, control, and respect for others. But why do so? Many people see this otherwise. Masonic symbolism, such as the square and the compass, or the practice of secret oaths, ends up feeding theories about control and darkness. Let's look more closely what these rituals actually represent, and perhaps, in the end, we can better understand what is really happening behind these closed doors. The word ritual has a fascinating power. When you hear that a secret society performs rituals, your mind probably creates images of dark ceremonies and complex puzzles. Masonic rituals are really mysterious, but they have nothing to do with black magic or the control of supernatural forces. On the contrary, these rituals are used to convey deep teachings about morality, self-knowledge, and personal growth. Each Masonic ceremony has carefully elaborated symbolism, such as the use of the square and the compass, which are emblems that represent morals and balance. But why so much secret? The secret in Freemasonry is not a way to hide something evil, but a way to preserve the depth and meaning of teachings. Freemasons believe that by revealing these teachings only to the initiates, they preserve the necessary mystery so that everyone can explore their true meaning throughout their lives. Therefore, there are no demons or hidden forces controlling the Freemasons. There is only the desire for self-discovery and the pursuit of moral perfection. But is this enough to end the myths? Now, before continuing, to tell me, which city are you watching this video from? I want to know how far this message is coming. So it already leaves a comment below and takes the opportunity to strengthen this community of people who seek the truth. And don't forget, if this content made you reflect, leave the like, because it helps this video reach more people who need to hear it. And of course, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so as not to lose the next videos. There is a lot of important things coming. Freemasonry is a secret society, but that does not mean that it is an organization involved with obscure conspiracies or practices. The secret of Freemasonry has more to do with preservation of the space of reflection and learning than with evil intentions. When she began to evolve from the guilds of medieval Masons, the Masons realized that to preserve the integrity of their teachings and avoid misinterpretations, it was necessary to maintain certain rituals and private details. This was a reflection of a time when freedom of thought and expression was dangerous, especially in times of religious and political persecution. The fact that they cannot disclose all their teachings to the public generated speculation and later conspiracy theories. Some people began to associate the secret of Freemasonry with something dark and treacherous, feeding the fear of the unknown. But what is really behind this secret? It is not the control of minds, but the protection of a sacred space where Masons can focus on improving themselves without external judgment. Let's investigate more deeply how these allegations began to emerge and take shape. Everything that is mysterious feeds the imagination, and throughout history, Freemasonry has been the subject of theories that tried to associate it with evil. From the French Revolution, when many Freemasons were involved in revolutionary movements, to the most modern times, Freemasons have always been seen as powerful and mysterious, which inevitably generated suspicions. Some most common theories claim that Freemasonry is behind major historical events, controlling governments, banks, and even creating a new world order. But how did these stories gain strength? Most of them come from the lack of understanding of what Freemasonry really represents. The idea of a secret society that promotes self-knowledge and morality is difficult to understand to those who do not share the same values. The absence of clear information and the confidentiality of their rituals gave rise to, over the centuries, fantastic stories arose about the Masons and their supposed involvement with evil. But as we exploit the story, it is clear that behind all speculation there is a set of high principles that Freemasonry seeks to convey. Are these theories founded or just the result of popular imagination? When we hear about Freemasonry and its secret practices, a thought comes to the minds of many. Does it have something to do with the devil? This idea began to gain strength mainly in periods of strong religious opposition, such as during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. The Catholic Church, which at the time had great influence, saw Freemasonry as a threat due to its independent character and its emphasis on values that were often in disagreement with church doctrines. It was then that rumors began to circulate on the Freemasons to make pacts with the devil and practice dark rituals. These rumors were fed not only by the secret nature of Freemasonry, but also by their association with historical figures that challenged the established order. But in fact, Freemasonry has nothing to do with the worship of the devil. Its principles are far from any association with evil forces. What is really hidden are not demonic practices, but the rituals used to convey deep philosophical teachings. History shows that behind the accusations, there was a true ideological battle between different forms of faith and power. What Freemasonry really represents is much more human and positive than the terrible accusations suggest. Often the mystery and symbols used by Freemasonry are misinterpreted, which leads to false associations, such as the belief that Freemasonry would be linked to Satanism. The truth, however, is that Freemasonry has no bond with satanic cults or practices. Instead, their teachings are based on the pursuit of wisdom, moral development, and service to humanity. The use of symbols, such as the 5-pointed star and the pentagram, which are sometimes associated with occultism, has completely different origins in the Masonic context. The pentagram, for example, is a symbol of balance and harmony, not malice. Freemasonry also teaches that each individual has the freedom to follow the religion they desire, and the belief in God is an important part of their philosophy. For Freemasons, the great architect of the universe is a central figure, but who he represents is an open question to personal interpretations, being a symbolic expression of a creative and cosmic force than any demonic figure. Behind the rituals and symbols, there is a commitment to ethics, morality, and self-control. So the question that arises is, why does so many people still insist on this association with Satanism? Over the centuries, Freemasonry has repeatedly targeted unfounded accusations, often associated with evil conspiracies. This type of defamation had a great impact on the organization of the organization. During periods of religious persecution, such as the Inquisition, Freemasons were often seen with suspicion due to their secret and independent character. The fear of the unknown led to accusations that they were controlled by evil forces, such as the devil, or that they were trying to dominate the world. Moreover, during revolutions and political changes, Freemasonry was associated with movements that challenged the status quo, which further fed these conspiracy theories. This has caused many Freemasons to be persecuted, arrested, and even executed for their belief in an alternative value system. Today, although Freemasonry has become more visible and its true nature is better known, there are still those who insist on seeing a connection with evil. The stigma generated by these ancient rumors still affects the image of Freemasonry in various parts of the world. But as we will see, reality is quite different from myth. Throughout this video, we have traveled the long history of Freemasonry, explored its origins and its rituals, and demystified many of the accusations involving this ancient brotherhood. What can be concluded after all this journey? Freemasonry, with its enigmatic symbols and secret rituals, is an organization that seeks to promote self-development, morality, and fraternity among its members. There is nothing evil or demonic behind your teachings. On the contrary, it encourages personal improvement, respect for others, and the search for a fairer world. The mystery that involves Freemasonry does not come from hidden practices or pacts with dark forces, but the way its members seek to understand life, morality, and the role of the human being in the universe. It is the secret of an inner journey, a continuous process of self-improvement. Now you may be wondering, so why so many conspiracy theories continue to be disclosed? The answer is simple. The fear of the unknown and the lack of understanding have always fed speculation and misconceptions. But as we have seen, reality is quite different from the accusations. Freemasonry does not control anyone, nor is it linked to evil. On the contrary, it is a force of positive transformation, dedicated to the personal growth and welfare of society. And finally, the true lesson we can get from all this is the importance of questioning, seeking knowledge, and above all, not judging an organization or group only for what we hear or the theories they circulate. Dialogue, understanding, and curiosity are essential to combat prejudice and misinformation. If you like this video and want to learn more about topics like this, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and leave your comment. Together, we can spread more light and less shadows about what really matters. If this video has touched your heart, be sure to let your like down here. This helps spread this message to more people who also need to hear the voice of God in their lives. Share this video with friends and family so that everyone can learn to walk closer to their Father and listen to their direction clearly. And of course, comment below what has impacted you the most or what you intend to change on your spiritual journey. I want to hear your experiences. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, take the opportunity now to subscribe and activate notifications. Thus you will stay on top of all the transformative content we are preparing to help you grow spiritually. Remember, your mission as elected is unique, and together we can reach more people with the truth of God. If you have felt touched by this video and believe in the mission we are fulfilling here, helping to spread the true message of Christ, we want to invite you to join us even more significantly. If you want to support our work and help us continue producing content that strengthens faith and guides people on the path of truth, consider making a donation through Super Thanks. Your contribution will be fundamental so that we can expand our reach and continue bringing messages of hope, discernment, and spiritual transformation. Each donation, however small, makes a big difference in our mission. Click on the Super Thanks icon below this video and contribute what you can. We thank you immensely for your support, and may God bless you abundantly for your generous heart. Together we can impact even more lives and bring the true word of God to every corner. May God bless you abundantly, and until the next video, stay firm in faith and keep listening to the voice of God.